is going on? What's happening after a long Thanksgiving break? We're back for our holiday episode of Laker Connections right here on WTOP10. I'm Thomas Sturgeon, and he's Jared Wakefield, and we got a lot to do.
Oh, we have a lot to do. The winter sports are in full swing on the ice or on the court. A whole lot of chaos and a whole lot of Christmas presents for Lakers. Pretty good week.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Thomas, winter continues to ravage Oswego, and as I mentioned, the Oswego State Lakers continue to ravage their opponents so far, no matter the contest. Turge, kick me off on the ice tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we start things off in women's hockey where they're absolutely rolling after defeating the William Smith Herons 5-1 before Thanksgiving and before taking the turkey trot down to Clinton to take care of the number 13 team in the country, the Hamilton Continentals, by a final score of 2-1. Jared, you might need your Christmas canoe because that is 7 now in a row for Mark Digby and company.
Yeah, let me tell you, Mark Digby is digging it right now in that canoe, fully adorned with the sleigh bells and the banners and all of the Christmas accoutrement, as we say. That Continentals win, really huge. That William Smith win, you know, I was on the call for that game with Kyle Spizak. So many breakouts. I mean, goodness gracious. Felt like I was watching the Shawshank Redemption with how many times we were breaking out. They were just breaking right through the zone, keeping the defensemen on the boards, crashing right on through, and they would just walk right on in on the Herons and score. They won 5-1. Go down to Hamilton, get a nice gritty 2-1. They come back after being down 1. Big game for Kenzie Malone. She gets 2 shots plus 1 goal. Corbett gets on the scoreboard with a goal as well, and Matt Cole and Ashley McGrath with assist, and McGrath continues her point streak. She has been on fire.
Yeah,
to start the year. Melting the snow.
Absolutely. Melting the snow, but that wasn't even Mother Nature. You can't even mention that. But yeah, they take down William Smith, a game where we really expected it was going to be a roll. William Smith, not a good team overall, but a competitive team nonetheless. Hamilton, on the other hand, 13th ranked in the country. Malone and Corbett both get their first goals on the year, so that's a good start. Lexi Levy getting the nod again in between the pipes. She's been absolutely fantastic. Oswego did get outshot, though, 24-21, so it was really a 50-50 game, whatever way you look at it. But Oswego gets a huge ranked win, now 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a huge win. You know, that rough start to the season, they have completely shaken that off. They are rolling right along. The Oswego State Lakers men's hockey team was also in action this weekend. They made their way out to Saratoga to take part in the Skidmore Thanksgiving tournament. The Lakers opened up the tournament with a win, feasting on a struggling Wilkes team by a final score of 5-1. The Lakers then faced the fast-riding Thoroughbreds in Saturday's chip game, where Skidmore pulled off their second SUNYAC stunner of the year, knocking off the Lakers by a final score of 4-1. Skidmore beat Geneseo 4-3 earlier this year in regulation. Well, Thomas, this Skidmore team certainly appears to be better than many have given this team credit for. They cracked the poll this weekend at number 15, and they promptly handed Oswego their second loss of the season.
Yeah, and this was what one would say is a character loss. I mean, you look at this game as a whole, Skidmore getting the best of them in the scoreboard. Really, shots were relatively equal. Oswego did have a great second period. I was down there in Skidmore at the Saratoga rink. I thought I was going to lose my fingers on how cold it was, but either way, this game was a 50-50 game, but Skidmore stretched the ice a lot better than Oswego did. It was Olympic-sized ice. It was wider, and Skidmore did have the better luck. Thomas Fink, a hat trick. Both teams 1 for 2 on the power play. Shane Bull had the only goal. At that point, it was a 3-0 game, and it was power play goal at the end of the game. 5-man major that no one knew and expected that was going to happen, but it happened anyway. So Oswego, yes, it's a tough loss to take, but Skidmore definitely making a name for themselves this year, cracking the poll at 15.
Yeah, I mean, Skidmore, you know, the team that's been on the come up for last year, you know, Tate Brandon took to Facebook, their goaltender. He said, I don't know if these are upsets or anymore because we've been beating these regular teams so good. And last year when Skidmore came here, they looked like a good team. They really challenged a few teams. They ended up almost winning that tournament over Augsburg. It was a good championship game, and Skidmore on the come up.
Yeah, they're definitely on the come up after playing Augsburg last year. They were really competitive nonetheless. But women's hockey is not the only team rolling now, as the Oswego State women's basketball team has started the season perfect with a 7-game winning streak with their last victory over the Fredonia Blue Devils, who they have snapped their 8-game losing streak against Fredonia on Tuesday night to open up conference play. Jared, Sean Pickerton was always talking about maturity when it came to this team, and I really think they've finally found their groove again when it comes to this team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, last year, you know, years you're really going to want to write off. You know, a lot of struggles, but they brought in some new players this year. Locker room chemistry seems good. Every time I watch the girls play this year, they've been really excited to get out on the court, and it shows. You know, they let Fredonia get in close, but a win by 10 over a SUNYAC opponent, you know, that's a huge deal for this program. The fact they're 7-0 is just such a testament, no matter how the rest of the season goes. It's been a great start for Pinkerton. You know, Carly Leo's been a huge part of that. 23.7 field goal, makes 4 from beyond the arc. Diamond Pickett, great as well. She's been strong in the paint. Shania Iglesias, strong as well. So, those three have really been kind of at the center of driving this Lakers ship along, and they've got more Suniac play coming up in this win over Fredonia. Good way to start.
Yeah, it's a great way to start. You talk about Carly Leo. She's been unreal ever since she transferred. She had 23 points on Tuesday against Fredonia. Diamond Pickett, on the other hand, 10 boards on Tuesday and 16 points. Elena Johnson led the team in rebounds with 11, but this team really doing it all. They're 43.9% from the field, 29.2% from three-point, 86% at the free throw line, which was huge because a couple weeks back they weren't getting the job done when it came to the free throw line. It was a little bit concerning, but against Fredonia they got the job done. They did very well against that Blue Devils team, who they really haven't been able to beat against recently.
Yeah, and that charity stripe obviously so huge. And last year was a big celebration when that women's team defeated Oneonta in regulation. This year they beat Fredonia, don't problem. They were in control the whole time. The men's basketball team also played on Tuesday night against the same Fredonia Blue Devils on the men's side. Lakers strutted out to a handsome 20-plus point lead early, but the Blue Devils started to draw in close in the second half. However, Oswego State was able to finish the job and take a 79-60 win over Fredonia after dominating the final minutes. Turge, Fredonia made it a contest, but Cartier Bowman, Jeremiah Sparks, and Joey Roback rode that Laker canoe right back out front, and they paddled away to victory.
Yeah, and this was a concerning game, I'm not going to lie, but Cartier Bowman played really well, yeah. Season-high 22 points. He was unreal in this game. Really, anything that he threw up in the air was falling into the hoop. So really, he was the bright spot for this team. Jeremiah Sparks and Roback also had 10 points apiece. But that second half was scary. They were 1 for 13 from three-point, or 1 from their last 14 from three-point land in that second half, and it was really tough until those final minutes where they finally started making those threes. They went 50% from three-point land in the first half, and then that second half they just ice cold, absolutely bricks everywhere, building houses very quickly before the holiday season. So it was really tough, but 36 points in the paint, and they got 22 points off the turnover.
It was 31-8 in the first half because Oswego made 7 of their first 10 shots from beyond the arc, so they had a really strong performance, and then it just fell apart. But Cartier Bowman, huge with the boards, 12 rebounds. The next closest on the team was Devin Green with 4. He did not get the start on Tuesday night, so the Lakers, a scary win, but they still managed to pull out by 19. But as you know, I'm pretty sure Coach Jason Leone will be hard on this team. They'll be back out on the court doing practice, and they will be back for Suniac action this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talked with the trainer this week. They said Jason Leone's practice book today was not pretty, I'll tell you that.
Woo!
But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're actually going to talk about Jason Leone and company, as well as Sean Pinkerton and the women's basketball squad. It's a Zeal Zip coming up next.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Hello there, and Merry Laker Connections, everyone. It's the holiday special of Laker Connections here. Jared Wakefield and Thomas Sturgeon. Well, we took a look at the past week. Pretty good week for Laker sports, but let's look ahead and let's head across 104 over to Laker Hall for the Zeal Zip.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start things off with the men's basketball team on Friday, where they will be back in action against Brockport, followed by going on the road to take on Buffalo State on Saturday. Jared, although Oswego had the better of both last year, they definitely have a test when it comes this weekend against two competitive SUNYAC teams, one at home and then one on the road.
Yeah, these SUNYAC games have always been a contest, and that Fredonia game proved that any SUNYAC team can still walk in. The Lakers, it's been a bit of a challenge. Last year, they absolutely decimated some of these teams. I remember SUNYAC playoffs last year. I believe they had New Paltz. It was a championship game, and they just clipped the Hawks' wings right away and put the flag up and set sail. So the Lakers, can't take these games lightly. Brockport, a pretty strong unit in their own right. They had a really good game last year in the semifinal against Oneonta. Brockport, young, hungry squad. They're going to be coming in looking to take down another green and yellow team.
Yeah, I think another green and yellow team. It's going to be a nice little collision. I was talking with one of the trainers. He was joking around with me. He said, you're going to the boxing match on Friday, expecting this men's basketball game to be very physical. But this team as a whole needs to come off and have a really big statement win. They didn't really get the job done as well as they probably wanted to against Fredonia. Brockport, on the other hand, coming off a close win, 72-69 against Buff State. So I think this weekend as a whole really allows you to set your narrative and set your standard for where you want to be and where you are currently standing in the SUNYAC.
Exactly. One of the interesting things this men's basketball team still needs to figure out is, who's going to end up being that, fifth, sixth man. We saw Roback get a lot of time. Caleb Cook got a lot of time. Sean Edwards got a lot of time and looked pretty good in his court time. So, a little three-way battle there. Some good, healthy competition there on the bench for those final spots. However, women's basketball will also face off against the Brockport Golden Eagles and the Buffalo State Bengals this weekend. Brockport will zip to the Zeal first. Brockport is 2-2 to start the year with their most recent win coming against, Buffalo State. The Bengals are 1-4 on the year with their only win coming against the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. So, Thomas, the Lakers are heading right into the thick of SUNYAC contest right now. How can they keep the momentum rolling?
I think really they just got to keep buying into the system. I mean, you look at this team as a whole. Fredonia was a really big team effort, and they've been playing well. Carly Leo has been electric for the Lakers outside from three. You look at Diamond Pickett really in the paint, getting your rebounds and everything you really need on your offensive front. And your defensive end, I mean, you only allow 66 to Fredonia, but at the same time, they do have a better test against Brockport and Buffalo State. Brockport also beating Buffalo State. Buffalo State has Geneseo on Friday. They're 1-4 to start the year, and they're averaging only 53.6 points per game and a negative 15 scoring margin. So the stats don't lie. It's in your favor when you go against Buffalo State, but Brockport has beaten Oswego 8 of the last 10 times. So a big test for Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge test to see how real is that free throw percentage, really helping Oswego out as well. Carly Leo, phenomenal for the charity stripe as well. 11 for 12 so far this year in those free throw points. You missed a couple of those free throws in that Fredonia Oswego game this past week. Much closer game. Oswego could even lose that game if you're not good from the charity stripe. So those 3 and 4 point plays have been really huge, and if the Lakers can continue to do that, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, this team overall, they got the mojo going, and that's really what matters when it comes to this team as a whole. I mean, they get the job done. They got 7 in a row, trying to make it 8, maybe 9. You never know.
So that'll do it for our Zeal Zip here. Basketball teams looking to get SUNYAC competition underway, but don't go anywhere. We're going to go just down the hall to the Marano Campus Center for the Wheelhouse Wire. This is Laker Connections on WTOP 10.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Hey, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to Laker Connections. I'm Jared Wakefield. He's Thomas Turgeon. And Thomas, college hockey, Teddy Bear Toss weekend.
It is Teddy Bear Toss weekend. So we start things off Friday at the Deb, where some kids are looking for some teddy bears, where the Lakers are looking to get right back on track to face off against the Morrisville State Mustangs, a team which they played on Wednesday against Cortland. So really, this is a must-win but good game to really set the narrative and get back on track with a huge SUNYAC matchup.
Yeah, the Mustangs, you know, they had a little bit of a ride this past weekend in Cortland, and it was a pretty long one, too, as they took Cortland to overtime. Red Dragons ended up coming away with a 4-3 win. But the Mustangs, you know, historically, they have struggled in the SUNYAC overall. They're one of those affiliate schools, kind of like Canton is with a few sports with Oswego. They're in the SUNYAC for some sports. Men's ice hockey is one of them. You can see last year, Tyson Kirkby making the Teddy Bears fly, and then he promptly went pro. So that aged well, but as you can see, the Lakers had a really good Teddy Bear Toss, and they're looking to make the Teddy Bears fly right early. And then after that, you know, they've got another Teddy Bear Toss, but their own. They're going to look to pack it in and have a good Teddy Bear Toss.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good test for Oswego. Oswego 12-1-2 all-time at home against the Mustangs. They're on a 19-game winning streak and outscored them 9-1 last year in the 2 games played. You mentioned Tyson Kirkby had the hat trick, so a big game, but a good 2 points to get right back on track in the SUNYAC.
A huge 2 points, and there'll be a huge 2 points this weekend as the Lakers then head southeast on Saturday to the Odd for a big matchup against the number 4 Utica Pioneers. Utica always packs the barn for their Teddy Bear Toss, which adds even more energy to what will be one of the most pivotal non-conference matchups of the entire season for both programs. Last year, these two teams only met in the preseason. The regular season matchup was canceled due to COVID, where Utica defeated the Lakers 6-4. Thomas, it's hard to overhype this one. It's a big game.
Yeah, I hate to say that it's a game that means everything, but it does mean everything. And this is a game where last year they did have that exhibition. They didn't play the game that we wanted them to play in January when COVID decided to, you know, do this thing. And overall, Utica had 4 power play goals in that exhibition game. And from what I'm hearing right now from a couple of sources, this Utica team, they do have the depth up front. They have the depth on the defensive end, but their goaltending took a hit. They lost the goaltender that did start in that exhibition game against Oswego State. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Oswego lost their goaltender as well with Steven Kozakowski. So you're going to see a new face, really. So
yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this Utica team. You know, I mean, they've still got players like Dante Zapata, Matias Del Monte, some of the best names in D3 college hockey, and by far some of the best players.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the other hand, the women's team will be on the road Friday, where they will look to continue their streak against the Buffalo State Bengals. And Jared, they did get the best of them last year, but goaltending has always seemed to be an issue when facing these pesky little Bengals, I swear.
Absolutely, on both ends. You know, the women's team, you know, last year, you know, they outplayed the Bengals pretty handedly, but the Bengals were able to keep them tied, keep it close. On the men's side, too, you know, they've got Emil Norman. So whenever you run into a Buffalo State team, you're going to run into a hot tendy. And as you can see last year, you know, they just struggle. You know, a tough goal right there, let in by, that's Bryn White. Bryn White getting the start there when first starts on the air. And this is a game that Oswego needs to win because last year, this is what hurt them in the New HL playoffs. This is what got them to face Cortland, and they ended up losing to Cortland and not making the final to go play Plattsburgh. So they need these points. These are huge points right now, especially with that loss to Potsdam earlier this year. They need these Buffalo State Bengals games to be insurance points. And with how they've been playing, I think they've got a good shot to wipe this one.
Yeah, they got a good shot, but Jessica Augie going to be in between the pipes again for the Bengals. She already has a .932 save percentage this year and 355 saves in 8 games. So it's going to be a big test for him. She's stopped a lot of pucks.
I'd say that's a hot tendy. However, another hot team is the number 3 Plattsburgh Cardinals, who will invade the Deb on Saturday for the second teddy bear toss game of the weekend. The Lakers are 0-16-1 at home against the Cardinals in the history of the program. They've only beaten Plattsburgh one time, a 3-2 victory in Plattsburgh in 2016. Thomas, the Lakers are going to need to send the Teddies onto the ice fast and early to have a chance against the Cardinals.
They're sending Ed Gosick onto the ice? Sorry.
Teddies.
But, yeah, this is a good game. It's going to be a ranked opponent. So we go back in the poll. This is a good test for them. They've knocked off the bottom feeders of the poll in Hamilton and Cortland, but now they've got really the big one, and that is Plattsburgh. They're coming off of a 3-2 loss to number 6 River Falls, followed by beating Elmira 7-0, who's also number 4 in the country. They do have Cortland on Friday, a good game to pay attention to. However, Plattsburgh, they don't have Annie Katonka from graduation, who was a thorn in their side, 2 goals and 1 assist in the Deb last year in their 5-2 win.
Absolutely, that's a tough ride for both teams because Plattsburgh's going to end up going to having Cortland and then Oswego on the road in Buffalo, and then they got to come back here and play this game. So a big Saturday matchup for these teams. Oswego looking for a huge upset.
Yeah, absolutely. But coming up, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Holiday Mr. T is in the building for Laker Showdown. Coming up next.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Merry Christmas and welcome back to Laker Connections. I'm your moderator, Tommy Tellerino, and it's time for everyone's favorite segment,
Redo
Laker
it.
Showdown.
Redo it.
Typically for Laker Showdown, we talk about some sports questions, but tonight, as you can see, we are in a Christmas mood here in the Al Roker studio, and we will debate some Christmas topics. Are you guys ready?
I think so.
Not even wearing a Christmas sweater.
It's an ugly sweater. Either way, continue.
But it's still a sweater. Hey. All right. From Home Alone and Elf to classics like Miracle on 31st Street, there is a number of Christmas movies that touch our hearts every year when the holidays come around. With that said, if you had to choose at least one Christmas movie over any other, what would it be? Serge, I'll have you start it off.
Well, for me, you say at least one, but I'm going to start off with one, and I'm going to use my reasoning after. I'm going to go with the Santa Claus, and the reason why is because Tim Allen is that dude. He is fantastic. I love Tim Allen. Scott, the man, is the myth, the legend. He is the Santa Claus. He's had 3 movies. There's a reason why this is a good series, because they made 3 of them. It's definitely not because the Christmas market wants to make an extra profit, but either way, this is a great series. I love the last one. That one's my favorite. Jack Frost is that dude.
Hold on,
and the fact that they have Deer Bull or Red Deer.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I'll say it's very peachy, but we got to move to
It's
Jared.
hilarious.
Wait a minute.
If you
Look,
say Elf, you're done.
Look, I'm not an Elf fan. I'm not the first episode in the series is always good, but I'm gonna go with the classic. I'm gonna go with the Polar Express because it is like the uniform, the stand-up. The cinematography for an animated film is just stunning. The train shot outside, it's gorgeous. It's artistic, it's beautiful, but it's also fun and simple. It's something for everybody.
I got to agree with Jared.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one to beat. But you had the chance to start out, and you didn't choose it. So.
Oh, I didn't want to be that guy.
All right.
I didn't want to be that guy.
Love them, hate them, or just accept them as sort of a fact of life. Christmas songs are a thing, and as December 25th, it gets inexorably closer and closer. There are things that become increasingly escapable. With that said, what is your favorite Christmas song of all time?
Jared gets the nod
Tommy
first.
Thesaurus on this one. Okay.
Yes, that was
so.
tough.
Favorite Christmas song of all time. I mean, whenever I'm on the radio, like there's obviously like the stuff like "All I Want for Christmas Is You," Mariah Carey.
Oh,
but I
my
love the
Lord.
classical stuff. I'm gonna go with "Sleigh Ride."
Oh,
Sleigh Ride.
my
just an
gosh.
absolute bop. Like, you're just driving down the road, you're driving through your small town, with nice little snowfall coming down, not enough to mess up the roads. You're playing Sleigh Ride, you got your friends in the car, you're going to the mall, you're gonna go Christmas shopping, you're gonna go get some Denny's or something. Great time, a whole lot of fun.
I love Denny's.
All right, what do we got, Serge?
Well, I'm kind of mad that I didn't discuss this because I was going to do Sleigh Ride, so I guess I'm going to have to improv. I'm going to go with Carol of the Bells, but specifically the Metallica version. It is a bop, it is a banger. There's a reason why it was on the Kia Soul commercial. Rosenthal, you're in the back saying I'm wrong. I'm saying I'm right because do you hear Sleigh Ride and Kia commercial?
I think he's wrong because he didn't pick the Trans-Siberian Orchestra version, which is miles better.
It's the same thing.
No.
Yes, it is.
TSO is way better.
I'm a sucker for Carol.
It's the exact same thing.
That's
if you
fair.
listen to it, it's the exact
It is
same
a bop.
thing.
It is a bop.
It is a bop, but
It gets me in
that's
a Christmas mood. I got to go Turge here. But it's now time for the final question
not a big Kia
of
guy,
the
though.
Christmas special Liquor Showdown. Are you gentlemen ready?
I think so.
All right.
I don't know.
Now, through the years, we have all had some interesting Christmas gift requests. For me, it was a pet cow. But for you guys, what was the most random gift request?
Okay, most random gift request. It's even better because I got it. As a kid, I was really into like welding, like putting metal together. So I wanted a welder. Those things are like $500, $600. But Grandma stepped up, and Jared had a welder.
Grandma got the
Yeah, I
goods.
welded up my own
welder.
go-kart and stuff. That thing did like 60 miles an hour. Now it sits collecting dust in the shed. But yeah, got a little Hobart 210 sitting in the shed.
It's not as much the interesting gift request for me, but it was more the interesting transition because as kids, we always were the type of people where, oh, we're getting clothes, that's horrible. But yeah, once we hit about like 14, 15, they were like, yes, bring on the socks. So I feel like that's
your most outlandish?
I want
Honest for all these years. That's the best.
For a welder.
Do you want repeat? Pause. Repeat that.
Pause.
You
Repeat
just
that.
said socks.
Socks. I don't know. Like, what do you?
Wow. He comes out with welding equipment, and you say socks?
Who wants a welder?
Are you kidding me?
That's the point of the question.
That's the point of it.
I don't even. Who in their right mind wants a welder? I
Me!
Good for you, but I don't.
I built a go-kart.
Good for you. I build a freaking gingerbread house like a normal person. So it's like
You just
actually,
lost.
good for me.
I gotta give it
lost.
to Wakefield. I mean,
You lost by
Jared
default.
want for Christmas was a Laker Connections dub. What you got? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
All I want for Christmas is a Laker Connections
Merry
dub.
Christmas. There you go. You got your wish.
Merry Christmas.
You got your wish. That's all I asked for. You got your Laker
And
Connections
we're both
dub.
getting our wish because the Sabres lost and the Habs are well on their way.
No, they're tied 1-1. But
Yeah, but that
nonetheless-
means they're done.
But nonetheless, on behalf of everyone here, we want to thank everyone for showing up every week and dealing with our constant nonsense through the entire semester. From everyone to our APs, Brian Burrows, Alex Brooks, our entire crew in the back, Director Jacob Bradley, TD Zach Malamud, Luke Rosenthal, Ryan Joyce, Sam Keeney, the rest of us. We all want to say to have a safe holiday. I'm definitely missing a guy back there. And Joey Polatsky in the back, who I just constantly heckle every week.
Wow.
So nonetheless, I apologize, Joey. But from all of us at Laker Connections, we want to wish you a happy, safe holiday, and we'll see you next year. Have a good night.
Merry Chrysler.